We're going to go over the border. Just outside of this hotel is a bridge that goes over into France. Last night we did a little bit of sneaky, like checking it out, and there's a police people at the bridge, at the other end of the bridge, and we're not really sure what they're there for, but we have our stories straight. So we live in Portugal and we just want to go to France, okay? So that's the first bit of excitement. And then the second bit of excitement is we're going to catch a train just over the mountains, right? So there's a range of mountains right on the border. So for about 15, 20 kilometers, we're going to catch a train, then we're going to get off, and then we're going to cycle, and we have no idea where we're staying tonight because we don't know the condition of the wind or anything like that. So we're unlikely, but we've got 3 days to get to Bordeaux. So we've got accommodation booked in Bordeaux. And the super exciting thing is my bicycle back wheel is very wobbly, okay, and has broken spokes. So we don't actually know if we're going to make it. And as soon as we get off that train, the train line and the bicycle part diverge. And it seems like it's a bit of a dead zone for like towns and stuff like that. So, you know, wise people would probably just catch the train straight to Bordeaux and get the bicycle fixed. But nobody's ever accused us of being smart.
We arrived in France. There was a little bit of excitement getting across the bridge because the police were stopping people and asking, but I told PJ to go on the other side. So we just rode past all the people getting stopped going in, and we rode in on the way out.
The ticket cost €13.20 for two.
And after a short ride on a train, just to miss some hilly bits, we're off. We've got about 300 kilometers to go. All of it seems to be on flat bike path, and the bike path is excellent. This is part of France's empty quarter, and that's what it certainly set out to be. It was empty. There we saw very few people. There was whole towns that were vacant, and like this place here we stayed in is a holiday park which must be booming in summers, but during the winter it's empty. We were basically the only people there. The pool was drained, the restaurant was closed, everything. But on the whole, it was really great. The EuroVelo was excellent in these places.
The smell of the forest was lovely. We found an open bakery.
You could really get some good kilometres done on this bike path. You know, this was a big day. This is basically the biggest day we had so far. And you could tell because PJ was making a lot of noise. Okay, we're in the middle of nowhere. And it's really lovely, actually. The beach is just over there, probably a kilometre. And we're all by our lonesome. We haven't seen anybody for ages. And PJ is just having a sit-down strike. That container is full of coffee, and she's eating her bread roll, and she was not going another step further. Although she was telling me, she was like, we're going to ride 20 kilometers without a break every way. And then it was like, sit down.
This is so good. Like, so good.
PJ did get us lost quite a few times, and the EuroVelo does some really big deviations, like 3 sides of a square to see nothing, and you could just cut them off, but PJ had us riding like 5 kilometers to go 150 yards. If the map tells her to go one way, she'll go that way.
His life is so hard.
This town was completely empty, like there was nobody there. All the shops, even the supermarket was just closed. Okay, this is PJ. She's finding reasons to stop.
In this area, you'll find a lot of roads on the map, and if you rely on them, you're going to be pushing down kilometers of loose sand in these forestry roads. There are also a lot of bike paths that don't exist on the map, or they're not actually in alignment on the map as well. And overall, just be really careful. There's also a specific intersection that I'm going to create a link to where the bike path heads off and it looks like it's going in the right direction, but then you end up heading west and then south, or you know, depending on which way you're going.
The wrong way.
Which is the wrong way, but the path that you need to take is hidden behind a caravan park in the wrong direction, which then actually ends up going the right way. So the paths off that problematic diversion all look like this, so you literally have to backtrack all the way back to that original intersection and then continue up, which Charles was not thrilled about, and neither was I, but just a warning, and I'll provide a link to try and help people who are coming through after us. Ciao!
All this is just an excuse. I'm the captain, she's the navigator. I tell her where we're supposed to be going, she's supposed to get us there. There was a board of inquiry after this, and she was flogged without mercy. The cat of nine tails came out of the bag, and she was flayed.
Anywho,
Spring is definitely in the air. Oh, PJ's caressing things. Well, we got to a slightly bigger town, and there was a few people around, and they looked kind of unsavoury, you know, and we did get asked for money quite a few times. And there seems to be a group of people that just hang around looking for tourists to ask things off them.
the town was pretty cute though. I'm sure we looked a little bit sketchy too. They probably thought they'd found kindred spirits. This is a Tunisian treat made with semolina and dates.
It's amazing in Europe, you know, effectively my son Hamish just bought a little townhouse in Australia, and you could buy a massive house here or even a small castle for the same amount of money as he paid for a generic townhouse in Australia. I think in Australia we've really got a problem with housing costs. We're not doing our kids any benefits. There's a few of these like beautiful sort of marinas. You can see how they go into the sheds for the winter, or they get pulled out of the water for the winter. It's quite nice. This is just a big lake. This is not attached to the sea. I'm up.
I always like riding beside the water on flat terrain, and it was great to see people playing boules. We finally reached our accommodation, which was a room above a pub.
So we went into here. The pub was closed because I suppose it's winter, and most of the places were closed as well, but there was still all the shopping centres at least were open. That's the library. It's really nice. I'm never going to lose any weight with all the bakeries in France, let me tell you. I'm hitting them hard.
I have my coffee, and so far this little town looks gorgeous.
This is just a room. This is another just check yourself in scenario.
It was bound to happen. I've been abandoned by PJ. She's thrown in the towel and she's catching a train to Bordeaux. She looked at we had like 100 kilometres again to do today, and she was like, I'm out. The poor little Dia yesterday, she's racked with pain. We did 98 kilometres yesterday, and you know, while I'm pain free, she's not. And so just so we don't take her up to breaking point, she's catching the train today. So I'm by myself. You can expect a severe fall off in video quality. So anyway, I think it's all for the best that she's caught the train. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going down that road. It's sending me down here and then down that road there. I don't think I'm going down there. I think I'm going to head back to a different road. That looks just like some sort of service road.
Meanwhile, I met a lovely cycling nomad on the train and we went to lunch. She's a bicycle mechanic from Paris, and she gave us some tips on where we could get Charlie's bicycle fixed.
So Charlie has broken his spokes again. So we're on our way to a bicycle collective. And hopefully they'll let us repair the bike without membership. I hear they're very, very kind people, so we'll see.
These bike collectives are scattered all across France. It's a good place if you want to pick up a cheap bike that's been maintained and serviced. So, you know, you can buy a quite reasonable bike here for about 45 euros. And they did let us do everything for free. You know, we didn't have to join, and they let me do all the maintenance. I made a donation for the spokes, but they argued us down how much money that I should give.
How are you going, Charlie?
I'm looking for the spoke size. These are too short.
There's a system.
There's a system, I can't work it out. And it was good fun to do something with my hands. You know, It's been a long time, but I am actually a tradesman, you know, so it's fun to do things with my hands. And the people were just lovely here.
There was a sewing collective in the same building.
This hotel, I found it's just on the outskirts. It's like right next to the main railway station in Bordeaux. And it's just excellent. It's all set up. It's kind of like a hostel, but like it's all hotel rooms. But there's a common kitchen, there's a bar downstairs, and there's a massive area to store your bikes. And they were just very helpful.
Next time, the perfect adventure turns into madness.